Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gluttons for Geekdom. I am Nick James, and that's right, we are talking about the Wonder Woman today. Something I noticed before I even started is like, yeah, usually my shirt matches. I didn't even do this on purpose, but it works out well. I'm wearing a shirt of the Parthenon. And we know, like, this is kind of there because of Greek mythology, so let's start off there, that we say that Wonder Woman is now, daughter of Zeus. So she's in Greek mythology and comes for that. Let's start with the actual first time that we see Wonder Woman was, she wasn't on the cover yet. It was in a All-Star Comic number 8 on December of 41. So that happened, and then the month after, January 42, she got her own title appearance, and that is Sensation Comics number 1. So she gets her own, and if you've ever seen it, this guy's flipping out, and she is doing what now, I don't think that I really had to. Maybe I looked a little crazy at the beginning, but I don't think now that I'm talking about Wonder Woman, everybody gets that. Everybody kind of gets that thing now because Linda Carter made it very famous. We'll get to her in a second. The thing I want to talk about first is the creator of Wonder Woman. It actually comes down to 3 people. The first one is William Moulton Marston, and he had a wife named Elizabeth Holloway Marston. So they were married, and that was all copacetic and whatever. But the thing about them is that they together as a couple had a girlfriend, somebody who lived in the house, and if anybody asked, it was his wife's sister's widowed sister, something like that. Like, just so they didn't have to say, well, that's my girlfriend, but why is she here? So that's a little strange, but it worked for them. So good on them. Olive Byrne was her name, and she was supposedly the figure for it, because Elizabeth Holloway was like, you should really create a superhero because he believed in comics. He wasn't a comic guy, but he was going, I think there's education in comics. And comics came to him and said, you want to do something? And more or less, she said, you should make it about women. And then his girlfriend was there, and he's like, okay. And that's kind of where it comes from. And one of the things, too, that everybody likes to talk about when it comes to him is that Wonder Woman was giving a magic lasso, whether or not you know, and that if it goes around you and ties, you are inclined to tell the truth. You have to tell the truth. William Moulton Marston is also attributed with creating the lie detector machine. So that's what a weird tie, But it makes perfect sense why he would write something like that into it. Wonder Woman was one of the big 3. The Trinity is what we call them. She made it through the days of the comic code, where Heather Bunce died off and had to come to a first rebirth, if you will, not the current rebirth, but the general switchover. But she's pretty much stayed the same throughout her history. One time, Denny O'Neil stripped her of her powers and made her like a kung fu kind of chick. And to his credit, he does say, like, all right, yes, I realize that might have been just a little bit. I was taking the power out of the most iconic feminist, and that was a big mistake, but I thought I was giving her power by saying she doesn't need superpowers, she just needs kung fu, but her master ended up being a male, and a lot of feminists were like, what the? So he says, I thought I was trying to do one thing, but he apologizes, he realized now, and, then we get back to the wonderful Wonder Woman with the spandex and the eagle right here and all that, whatever, tiara and the magic wristlets, and she's all awesome and powerful. So going into it, why I keep doing this, if you don't know, is Linda Carter played Wonder Woman from 75 to 79 throughout an entire episode, 60 episodes. That's a lot. So, and her big trick is the bulletproof gauntlets, if you will. So that was featured on all of them. She was always throwing people around, lifting cars. Literally, they really wanted to make her physical strength shown, and they did it, and they were able to do it really well. I had to watch it later on. I don't remember it on as a kid much or anything, but I do know that it is around. If you want to look it up, watch it. It's great. It really is pretty great to watch. You wouldn't think, but she really sells it. And a lot of people bashing Gal Gadot for her body image and stuff like that. It's like, look at Linda Carter too. Like, you can take on different types of things. Linda Carter fits that perfectly, but at the same time, like, she's more here, and she's not as toned. She just fits the outfit well, and she does, but you could tell she's just, you could tell that she has to have superpowers to lift stuff. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to get at. I don't want to be too offensive or put anything into the gnome, but she did fill certain parts of the costume well, and I think that that's really what unfortunately got a lot of attention out of that. She was put on magazines, stuff like that, star-rocketed her. But what I tried to get at is watch the show. It's great because you get to see her do it. It's more than just that, It's more than just this. Really sit down, watch it. I think it was great. It went for that long. So great, in fact, that NBC in 2011 was like, let's do our own series. And everybody went, no! They had test pilots out and like pictures and stuff, and it looked badass. I don't really know what got onto that, but now we know, they were saving it or whatever they were doing back then, I'm not too sure. But now, 6 years later, we're working. She's getting her own movie coming out in June 2nd, and it's going to be the same person who portrayed her in BVS, and everything that everybody's excited for, especially me, more so than Wonder Woman, is the theme. Because when she jumps down and saves Batman behind the shield, and it's the ba-na-na-na, boom, 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 boom. She's badass in that. And of course, the one thing that's going around about her in the entire movie is she gets a pretty good hit, and she does the whole, like, whoa, like, I haven't fought like this in a while. This is freaking great, man. And grabs her sword, and she goes in and she's slashing, like, she did the woman justice. And again, I come down to that freaking trio. What more do you want than that? It's great. So that's going to continue on into the new one. We're going to get Chris Pine in this. So he's crossing geek borders all the time, And I think that he's going to do well in this because he's going to play Steve Trevor. And even that goes back to the original comic of they're all on Themyscira, which is the island of the women, and no men go there. And Steve Trevor crashes. And it's like, I guess somebody's got to take him back. And she volunteers. So they're going to go through that. We actually see him in BVS, and it's not a picture that you want. It's a picture of you. Who are you? And you see it. And again, that's the first time we get the da-na-na, boom, 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 boom. And it's really just great. The last Wonder Woman I want to touch on as we're going through is Susan Eisenberg. Susan Eisenberg is my Kevin Conroy, if you will, to Wonder Woman. When I read through, she played Wonder Woman for a combined episode, I think like 50-some episodes, 50-plus episodes, we'll say, the Justice League and the Justice League Unlimited. She also got to do the animated movies. If you don't have time to read a comic for whatever reason, to learn about and want to see badass Wonder Woman, go to these animated. First one is Justice League Doom. Justice League Doom, spoilers, I don't know if you want to know the plot before, but Vandal Savage gets the plans to take on the Justice League and put them down. It's a pretty good biopic, but, Vandal Savage is the only thing I said that you won't be surprised about. But we see Wonder Woman taking on Cheetah, and it's a great interpretation of Cheetah. I hate when they put a lady in a Cheetah costume. She looks like she's been spliced with Cheetah DNA, and we get a lot of good stuff in there. I don't want to say too much, but multiple Cheetahs fighting. In Batman Superman Apocalypse, that's the one where Kara Zor-El comes down, and she comes to kidnap her, Wonder Woman. Comes to kidnap her, saying, like, you have no idea how to train this girl. Like, I train superpower girls. Why don't you let the girl come with me? Badass, again, in that movie, has to go to Apocalypse to fight. Again, another one, not going to get too much into it because I want you to go. I think all of these actually are on Netflix right now. And then the 52 episodes, am I missing one? No, Apocalypse, it was only those 3. Susan Eisenberg, again, is her name. I'm very excited to see what this 2017. Like I said, I think that the WW is going to pop up with the dun-dun-dun, dun-dun, and everybody is just going to not know what to do with themselves. They are going to lose their minds because we're there. Wonder Woman has her own freaking movie, and it took long enough. She's done great on TV. Like I said, Linda Carter, thank you so much, but we need a Wonder Woman movie. And I can't wait for it to come out. I think this is part of WB's big plan. Then we'll see her again in Justice League. And the little snippets that we've seen of that is she's funny. The only thing that I don't like about Wonder Woman so far is that there hasn't been enough of her. So let's get some more Wonder Woman go. Comment what you want down below. We are on Facebook, but if you want to tweet us at Gluttonous Geeks, find us on Instagram, Gluttons for Geekdom. Always look us up on YouTube, Podbean, iTunes. Mr. Classic is starting a brand new show this Friday at 8:30. It's Combat Chronicles, Mr. Classic's Combat Chronicles, 8:30. It's going to be fun. You're going to get more than just me sitting up here talking all the time. We're going to get Rick sitting up here talking all the time. We're going to get Bobby sitting up here talking all the time. 3 of us will bring you little freaking snippets of all your favorites, and we will come together for our trinity of awesomeness to create great podcasts for you still. So stay tuned. Keep it coming. See you tomorrow live at 5. What do you want to talk about? I don't know yet. If I get a good suggestion, I'll do it. If I don't get a good suggestion, still see you tomorrow live at 5. Nick James, Gluttons for Geekdom, live Spirit Finger.